the Arcteryx Leaf Military and Armed Forces line. For those of you, I mean, if you're watching this, you probably already know this. Arcteryx makes military and police type stuff, and it's really high quality stuff. In fact, it looks as though the quality control is even higher, although everything they have is really, really good, and I've checked everything very closely that I've ever had, and it's just dynamite. But the one thing about the Arcteryx Leaf, they have quality control is very high. I don't know if they're checking every single item. Now I've got some sample pieces that I found. Samples, from what I was told, is from them, is that when they ship their line out to new stores to see whether they want to carry the stuff, they have what's called the samples, and they are handmade. Both of these, one of these is a sample and one of these aren't, and they are, the sample has the signature, and the non-sample, actually both of these are, but only one of these is actually a sample. I don't know if you can see, it says it's a sample here. I have another one that's not a sample, a Griffin pant. I'm going to do a review on that in a second. But they don't, it has a number, a handwritten number. So I don't know if this maybe just was a sample and it wasn't. This has a signature, and all the other Leaf items, they are numbered. So they're my point is they're checking every one. It seems like it anyways, unless I just got lucky. So this is the Alpha LT. I've got the Multicam and the Crocodile. The Crocodile is just the plain I don't know, tan or whatever, and the Multicam is the camouflage. Now, Multicam, from what I have found out, is, I think they license, yeah, because the two pants are quite different in price. And actually, there's something else different about them, and I'm waiting to hear back from Arcteryx whether or not one of these is Generation 2 or not, and I'll go into detail on that in a second. But the Multicam, they don't make this, they're licensing the Multicam pattern. That's why they cost more money. If you've noticed that the Crocodile version is, it could even be about $100 less. I might be wrong, and I can't remember, but well, sure. Let's just see. This is $530, and this is $430. So the Multicam is $100 more. And these are both supposedly Generation 1s. They don't say Gen 2 on them, and from what I was told, there's no way that I could have had these in Generation 2 because of where I got them. So it's the camouflage, the Multicam. This is the most widely used camouflage, I guess, or the best for some technical reasons of how well it blends into everything. I'm not a military guy. My brother is, so I don't know the details of where this can be used at. I mean, you could probably get away in the desert, but I think this is better for a desert, and this might not be. This is more like the jungle and stuff like that. But this is actually, I believe, licensed. The Multicam camouflage pattern is licensed, so that's why it's more money, because they wanted to have Multicam because of how good it is and how everyone likes it and how well it performs, but they need to pay to be able to have. Now, I mentioned that these pants aren't identical, even though they both are the same pants. And here's why. So, first of all, these are very similar to the Beta ARs, which I'm wearing, in the fact that they have a 3/4 length zipper here. There's a lot of big differences in these as opposed to the regular Arcteryx stuff, and I'm going to point out a few, and I might miss a couple. One, the Gore-Tex is different. The Gore-Tex is, and I'm not 100% sure if it's 100% fireproof, melt-proof, but it has safety issues or safety properties in it. It's different than the Gore-Tex in these beta ARs, for example. And I think it's like if a spark comes off and hits it, a bomb blows off and something hits you, it's not going to melt and destroy it. It's a little bit, it's better. That's the point. They have different pull ties on here. Very similar to the beta AR pants, except that for one, there's no gator in here. They have there's no gator. The instep is thinner. It's nowhere as burly as this thing that's on here. In fact, you can tell that it's much more pliable. I'm assuming like this isn't a heavy duty winter pant, although it could be used as a winter shell over top of pants easily. It's got the belt lace loop with the little thing here that holds it off if you don't need it, which is awesome. It's got adjustability points to close off this and cinch it down around your pants, and there are two eyelet holes here, so you can run a cord and go underneath your boot if you don't want it to be pulled up. Now, the lace, like I said, it's got different pulls, and it's the same pulls that you have. The zipper has them. There's no pockets on these, so these are much more similar to the Alpha SLs, in all honesty. I should have never compared them to the Beta ARs. So I'm going to show you now what the difference is really between these two pants, and they don't know why, because the Generation 2 doesn't, Gore-Tex Pro, this pant here has Gore-Tex Pro, okay, and I thought at first, oh, I've got a Generation 2 here. It doesn't say Generation 2 on the tag, and they told me that I couldn't have gotten them because the place I got them at wouldn't have had these. So I figured Gore-Tex Pro is labeled on different stuff as the second generation of the Gore-Tex 3-layer. You can see that is Gore-Tex Pro. Now, the odd thing is that the Generation 2 doesn't use Gore-Tex Pro, and you would think, why? That's the second generation Gore-Tex, it's better. And they don't seem to be able to tell me why. It's a smaller company, the Leaf section, so it's harder to figure out or get to certain people, but the Generation 2, I mean, if you read it on the site, they went to the 3-layer. I guess it saved them weight. I don't know if the 3-layer was the weight, where the weight was saved, but for example, this Multicam, is not Gore-Tex Pro. This is, and it doesn't say Gore-Tex Pro, it just says the Gore-Tex. So it is the 3-layer, and it's quite nice 3-layer. I mean, I've seen some heavier 3-layer. I think I've got a jacket that it looks a little different than what their other 3-layer is. It's a little lighter, and these are the LT, which is lightweight, right? So very odd. Like I said, my phone can ring any second here, and they're going to tell me why the two exact same pants, one is Gore-Tex Pro and one isn't. Now, I could have just thought of something. Maybe because this is a sample, handmade, the beginning of the line, the one, not the first, they're not samples as in, oh, we just made one to see how it would turn out. The samples are the best ones they make, so that the people who get to look at these and decide whether they want to carry them say, wow, look how fucking awesome these pants are. That's what the sample is. So maybe they were made earlier and they decided they were going to go to this, or these are generation 2, although they don't say anything on the tag, and I shouldn't have these if they were generation 2. So I'll put an update in here once I find out, or it's going to be here already because they're supposed to call me back today. They have the same material throughout except near the bottom. Now again, I'm sorry, I don't know. You can tell there's the heavier Gore-Tex 3-layer. You can see because these ones are using the 2. So that's Gore-Tex 3-layer as well. And this stuff is a little bit lighter. The taping is solid. As always, everything's bomb-proof. Buttons with the little Arcteryx logo, but I mean, if you're wearing this stuff, you're probably out in a war. So you don't care if the buttons have the little fucking logo on them or not. But, so all the same material, minus the bottom. It looks like it's just a little bit burlier. And for example, in this version, which is the Gore-Tex Pro, you can see that it goes from Pro to, I would say this is probably NP70X, and don't quote me, but I think that's what this bottom area would be, and the upper would be the NP40. Although it doesn't look the same. The NP40 has, you can see the ripstop. These don't have that on there. These are solid. It may be because it could reflect light, those little lines, possibly, because they're raised up. Really awesome stuff. All the military and police guys and paintballers and whatnot, they must love this stuff, man. I mean, the SWAT teams use it. Arcteryx is the best, and it was very smart for them to go in and make the professional stuff for those guys. But anyways, Alpha LT pant, Crocodile, and Multicam. Leaf, Alpha LT Leaf, scene 1, take 1.